teachers, we're working on scale in our new upcoming Cityscape unit, so I thought I would talk to you about something that I did right after 9/11 when I was at Fordyce. We had done a scale drawing of different monuments around the United States, and some of these we are going to be doing in our Cityscape. There's the Golden Gate Bridge, the Statue of Liberty, which we're definitely going to be using. The Statue of Liberty is not, you know, this is as big as my hand, but if you look, the Statue of Liberty is actually very, very tall. The Statue of Liberty is 310 feet tall. That's not something that we can actually build. We have to use some sort of scale to scale that down to where we can fit it in our classroom. Teachers, at this time, if you will go to the pbskids.org website, the Design Squad video, and watch the Piano Smash video, that's going to help you to get some ideas of scale. Watch that video at this time, and then we will come back. When we do scale, we are going to use this sheet of paper because the blocks on this sheet of paper are all divided to be equally 1 inch. A sheet of notebook paper is 11 inches long. That's why it kind of hangs off right here. It actually goes all the way edge to edge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The scale that we're going to use for the Statue of Liberty is that one block, 1 inch block, is going to be 10 feet. So that means each one of these blocks is representing 10 feet on our scale. There are lots and lots of dimensions for the Statue of Liberty, but overall the Statue of Liberty is 305 feet tall. Okay? So if we use the scale 1 inch or 1 block equals 10 feet, then we can divide this 305 by 10 to figure out how many blocks we would use on our scale representation. 305, I'm going to round this 305 so that it will be easier to divide by 10, so I'm going to round it to 310. It's not quite equal because I rounded. Then I can divide that by 10, so I can actually do that easily. 310 divided by 10 is 31. Okay, so that means that 310 feet on our scale would be represented by 31 blocks. If I use that with this sheet of paper, I would count 31 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 on one sheet, plus another 11 is 22. So I need 31, so that means I would need 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. The Statue of Liberty is going to be approximately this tall. Okay, so this represents the overall height of the Statue of Liberty. You know, you would have to cut out for different parts of her body. Online, you can find some really good sites that will show you some pretty good dimensions for the Statue of Liberty. For example, using this right here, her arm is 42 feet long. Her arm that holds up the torch is 42 feet long. So with this same scale, if we had 42 feet, we could round that to a factor of 10, so it's going to divide easily. So I'm going to say 40 feet. I rounded down. 40 feet divided by 10 would mean that her arm was 4 of our units. So 4 1-inch blocks. So when you look at that, her arm, so even though the arm on the Statue of Liberty is 40 foot tall, so that would be taller than maybe 8 people. Our Statue of Liberty, when we do our model for the arm, it's going to be around 4 blocks high. Of course, it's an arm and it's holding a torch, but that kind of gives you an idea of scale. When you have a larger building like the Empire State Building, it is so tall that if we used the same scale that we used for the Statue of Liberty, you would not be able to fit it into a classroom. The scale that we're going to use for the Empire State Building is 1 block equals 25 feet. The reason for that is the Empire State Building is so tall. The Empire State Building is 1,450 feet tall. Most people's homes are about 30 feet tall. If we use the scale of 1 block equals 25 feet, then that means that if we modeled your house, then your house would be 1 block to maybe a little over 1 block tall. We've got to use a smaller scale so that we can get an accurate representation of your home, and smaller objects like the Statue of Liberty or smaller objects like the Hollywood sign. But on a very, very tall building, like the Empire State Building that is 1,450 feet tall, if we use the same scale of one block equals 10 feet, we would not be able to fit it into our classroom. So in comparison, this would be the Empire State Building where 1 block is 25 feet. This would be the Statue of Liberty where 1 block is 25 feet is actual height. And that would be your home on a scale of 1 block is 25 feet. For this reason, we are going to use a different scale for the Statue of Liberty, and when we do the Hollywood sign and smaller structures, we're going to use a scale that is different than 1 block is 25 feet in order so that you can actually see a representation of those structures. One thing that would probably help you in your planning is to consider each structure from 3 perspectives. The first perspective, and the one that we've just talked about, is a front view. So we had the Empire State Building from a front view. For example, this stool, the front view would be sort of a modified triangle with a flat top. Okay, if you looked at and did a top view of the stool, all you would see from way up high would be the circle that is the top. If you did a right side view of this structure, it would look very similar to the front view. With the Empire State Building, the front view and the right side view are going to look very similar. With the Statue of Liberty, though, the side view is going to look a little bit different than the front view. This is a perspective of the Empire State Building from the top view. From the top looking down, like Google Earth would, the satellite would, it just looks like a square. The dimensions, the length and width dimensions of the Empire State Building are 425 feet and 200 feet. So when we look at that with our scale, 17 inch blocks, and 200 divided by 25 is 8 1-inch blocks. Okay, so when you look to do these scale drawings, you're going to want to consider several different dimensions. You're going to want to consider the length and the width of the base. You're going to want to consider the height, and if there's any identifying structures in the middle, like for example with the Statue of Liberty, we talked about her arm, you're going to want to consider those dimensions as well.